Hello and welcome to the channel. Now it's that time of the week when we go through all the motorsport stories that I've found, and I tell you what race is on, because I'm going to tell you what racing there is on the TV this weekend. And yes, there is some, so woo! And there's some interesting news as well, so I've picked out the best stories. Let's get into it. First of all, there's a story on racefans.net, and it's about Anthony Hamilton setting up a new series called Hybrid V10, and it's going to be a festival series, and it'll be set up by 2028. In the document about the plans, he says the first events should be 28-29. It'll be a professional festival format. It won't be FIA sanctioned World Championship, and is in not any way affiliated with, endorsed by, or connected to the FIA or Formula One. So Anthony Hamilton's going to spend the year organising it. It's going to be a dozen annual events rotating around the world, repeating a continental loop, and scheduled so as to avoid clashes with major championships such as Formula One, etc. The series will begin in the Middle East, visiting Asia, Europe, Africa, and that is the only continent that F1 doesn't serve. So it's going to be interesting. There are 3-day events. So 2 race days and a technology and innovation showcase. Friday and Saturday will be given over to Hybrid V8 race day, a parallel category to the main series, which is the Hybrid V10 headline race, which takes place on the Sunday. Both categories should have fields of 24 cars. So there's plenty to get into there. I suggest you go onto racefans.net and read the whole story, but it's quite fascinating that Anthony Hamilton's going into a whole new series. Now, I see the festival format, and I completely get that, because it plays into the whole Forza game series that people are into, and kind of gamifying motorsport, but also that aspect of where people are going to races to watch the concerts and all that sort of stuff. It's all going to be there, so it's all going to be about music and art and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's going to be really, really interesting to see how that comes off. Next off, there is a article about Adrian Sutil. Used to drive for a couple of different teams, but he's been blackmailed over 17 million supercars and more, apparently. 9 luxury cars worth about 17 million have disappeared from his garage in Monaco, including a Mercedes that once belonged to Elvis Presley. There's a lot going on there. If you can read German, then I suggest you go and click on that link, because that looks like a fascinating story. Maybe that'll be a movie someday. There's a story here about McLaren considering loaning Hamilton to Sauber for his Formula One debut. There was a discussion between the teams, because McLaren was so keen to bring on Hamilton, but they were worried about throwing him into the A team straight away, and perhaps thought it might be good for him to get some experience somewhere else. Obviously, that didn't happen, and he went straight into McLaren, and he matched Alonso in his first year, didn't he? So it was an epic year. So very, very interesting story, that, because that's something I had sort of heard before, but Peter Sauber's actually making it a thing and saying that it is true, and they could have had Lewis driving for them. Then there's this thing about Lewis's Instagram post where he's talked about finding inner peace, talking about entering the year of the horse and leaving behind the year of the snake. Time for changes now. Starting new routines, leaving behind unwanted patterns, and working on growth. Obviously, if you're not following Lewis, then go ahead and do. Obviously, he has loads of followers. This has already got 1.4 million likes. What a reach, eh? Always inspirational on social media is Lewis. Right, so next up, Guan Yu Zhou has been announced as Cadillac's reserve driver. So they have 2 race drivers in Bottas and Perez. They have Guan Yu Zhou as their reserve driver, and then their test driver is Colton Herta. So those are their 4 drivers on the roster. Next, okay, so the Audi F1 car has had its shakedown at Barcelona, and there is footage on the internet, and the cover picture of this is of that test. It was released by Audi. There is a little bit of footage that has appeared and some very, very low resolution photographs have appeared on the old Twitter. Some people are saying they're just AI, but other people are saying, no, this is the real thing. And of course, we know very much so that has been running today. And look, people are already, all of the aerodynamicists of TikTok are out telling everybody what's what and what that is going to be. I think we wait till we see it in the flesh, to be honest, because you can't really tell a lot from a blurry photograph like that. Now, there is some racing this weekend. Formula E is back. Formula E has had its opening session. Jake Dennis was fastest in the session, and it's the Mexico City E-Prix. Now, they race in the same place as Formula One in Mexico, but it is very slightly tweaked, different circuit. Usually provides a fascinating race, and I can tell you that it's on TV, because if you look at the TV guide, ITV4 in the UK from 7 p.m. Saturday, 7 p.m. Saturday UK time. Obviously, all the previous sessions, it all happens on Saturday, so you've got practice, qualifying, all happens on Saturday. They'll all be on YouTube, but the main event, the race, is live on ITV4, so it's live and free on ITV. As you can see on the M Sport Extra calendar, we like to have a look at this every week, and I'm so glad there's some racing again, because this is back. Now, the Dakar is still going. Live timing can be found by clicking the link on the M Sport Extra calendar, and of course Mexico Grand Prix, E-Prix, sorry, gotta say it right. There is some other news in Formula E, because some drivers will have penalties and grid penalties for this Mexico City Grand Prix. So you have Pepe Marti has a penalty for causing a collision. He will start from the back of the grid. Felipe Drugovich overtaking under full course yellow, 3-place grid drop. And Jean-Eric Verne overspeeding under full course yellow, 3-place grid drop. And there are penalty points here. 4 penalty points for Pepe Marti, although that was quite a big crash, wasn't it? It says there, because this represents a worst case scenario in terms of safety, the stewards have decided to impose a severe penalty. Yeah, I mean, you can't really say fairer than that. It was just not a good thing, was it? So, are you going to be watching the Formula E? I hope you do, because I think the racing in Formula E is absolutely fantastic. It's usually a little bit bonkers. There's usually loads going on. You've got to keep in mind, it's like the peloton racing, like Tour de France, where, you know, it's not always best to be in the lead. Sometimes you need to wait and save some of that energy for later on in the race. I love it. It'll be great fun. I'll be watching it. Let me know what you think. And if you've got any comments on this week's news stories, please do pop them in the comments. Loads of videos also popping up over on the Gone in 60 Seconds channel with new cars. I've been at the Brussels Motor Show, so there's loads of car videos coming on there. Please do like, subscribe to both channels, and I'll see you next week in the next one. Thank you very much.